Hi everyone, this week on the Roosevelt channel I'll be showing you how I made these beautiful little lures for targeting trout, perch and other small predators. In this video I'll be making the wooden blank for this lure and the paint tutorial will be uploaded next Friday. If anyone is interested in more painting tutorials, please do let me know in the comments below and I'll make a couple more of these with different paint schemes. Like always, I start off at the scroll saw to roughly shape the outline of this lore. Next, I use my spindle sander to sand right down to the lines of my drawing. Because the spindle sander couldn't quite reach everything, I'll finish up with my Dremel tool, and of course any shaping can be done by hand, but it will take just a little bit longer. Now that the lure has its final shape, the stencil can be peeled off and we can start rounding the edges. For this I'll be using the sanding belt from a power file because it's way more durable than any sandpaper. By using the technique I'm using here, you should be getting perfectly even fillets on both sides. With all the shaping done, I'll cover the entire lure in superglue for a couple reasons. The main one being waterproofing the wood. It also makes the wood harder and it tears out less when drilling. I do this by putting a couple drops on the wood and then rub it in until it dries. The lure itself is 10 mm thick, so I'll take a 6 or 7 mm drill bit to drill the lead holes. These tiny lures really don't need that much lead, because the spinner blade, the epoxy and the hook will add plenty of weight. The lead in the belly is just to keep the lure stable while reeling it in. After pouring the lead, I use the same drill as before to make the lead sit below the surface of the wood. To cover up the lead holes, I use a mixture of superglue and sawdust, which will then be sanded flush to the wood. By sanding it, any small holes should be filled with sawdust, which can then be glued in place with another coat of superglue. The spinner blade will be attached to a small ball bearing swivel, so it can spin without any resistance. The swivel will be attached to a twist wire connection, and so will the line tie and the hook hanger. For small lures like this one, I use 0.8 mm stainless steel wire and I'll just slide that swivel on the wire before I twist it. Just in case you're wondering if these little glued-in connections are strong enough, here's a quick test on a 10 mm twist wire connection glued into a piece of basswood and the insert pulled out of the wood at more than 20 kilograms, so over 44 pounds. These connections will be glued in after the lure has been painted and clear coated to prevent them from being clogged up by epoxy. I pick out the drill that gives the connection a snug fit into the hole, which is 1.6 mm in this case. When I'm picking a spinner blade, I try to get one that doesn't stick out past the tail to prevent it from hitting the hook. Now that we're nearing the end of this video, I'd like to ask all of you still watching to please let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Positive or negative, all critique is welcome and it just helps me make better videos for you. I'd like to hear everyone's opinion on if I show and explain everything clear enough, and if I don't, I'd be happy to answer any questions in the comments. With all the holes for the twist wire connections drilled, the blank is done. For these small lures I don't like drilling eye sockets, so I stick the eyes right on the side. After some paint and clear coat, this is the lure completely finished. Like I said at the start of this video, if you want to see me paint this lure, you can watch that video next Friday. Because I know most of you like to see the action of the lure, I filmed a couple clips above surface and below. The body has a small wiggle to it, with the spinner blade of course twisting and flashing behind it. This is a lure design that has caught me quite a bit of fish, from the smallest perch to some pretty decent sized pike. Now with all that said, thanks for watching.